Challenge your negative bias. Remember, I told you that this is something I just heard recently, negative bias, right? And Joe Rogan was talking about this, right? Because Joe Rogan was talking about, reading our comments. When you make a statement on Facebook, right? You could have 10 comments on there, and 10 of them are all positive. Have we ever had that? But there's one comment where somebody says something, and you're like, ooh. I can't believe they said that. Oh my, nothing but positive, amazing. But this is what happens with negative bias. We got all this good stuff going on, and that one comment just derails everything, and it just shuts down the whole. It's just your mind will naturally, right? People remember the bad more than the good. This is why reviews, right? What happens with reviews? People have a bad experience. What do they want to talk about? They want to talk about the bad experience. They could have had 15 good ones, but they're going to tell you about the bad one, right? That's why when people tell me their opinion about restaurants, or their opinion about this or movies, I always take it understanding there is a negative bias to this, where people will look at or think of the negative as opposed to looking at the positive. But I want to challenge you with this, because I think this is so important with this negative bias. I want to challenge you with it. This is a mindset shift. You see, in life, we could have 15 blessings all in our lap, just overflowing, joy beyond joy. And that one text message could throw everything into, just turn the world upside down, right? That one text message, that one comment, or the one person that says something, you're like, what did you just say? We have to turn our mindset to go, you know what? I'm having a negative bias right now. I'm focusing on the negative instead of focusing on the positive. Now, I need you to understand the flip side to this. The Stoic philosophers, if you've ever read Stoic philosophy, that there is this idea that sometimes we do have to think about our mortality. Right? We do have to sit in understanding of bad things can happen, right? But we have to understand that we can't stay there and just be in this, woe is me. We have to find this and get to a point where our negative bias, we can point it out, right? Shift the mindset, go, no, this is a negative bias. I'm focusing on something that's negative when I have 15 other really positive things going on. I need to look at it in a completely different way. Does that make sense? And that shift can turn a day where this is the one thing I always tell my son is I go, Enzo, you're 11. There is absolutely no reason you should ever be in a bad mood at 11 years old. You know what I mean? It's like, what could you possibly be upset about, right? Like our kids, we just think, what are they upset about? But you know what? They already are developing what? A negative bias. Blessings on blessings on blessings, all in front of them, laying at their floor. We asked, this was so funny. He had a friend over last night for dinner. We asked him, what do you want for Christmas? His one friend said, I want this. And Enzo goes, well, I already have everything I want, I thought I want. So maybe, and he listed out a couple of things. And I sat there and thought about it. I was like, did you hear what you just said? Right? Like, think about that. It's like you pretty much have everything you want, right? And so now what I have to teach him, which I haven't yet, I need to teach him this idea of how the negative bias we're wired to think this way. We're wired to look at the bad and not the good. And if we can understand that, then we can start having these little mindset shifts, a little shift.